Keith Thurman talking about Terence Crawford on Sirius XM with Ak and Barack. I thought this was funny.
Here to him, which in my opinion, I don't know this to be true, but yourself, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, those guys have yet to not to fight guys on the divide over the divided line yet. Like Al hasn't.
There's one guy. There's one guy. You want us to cross for one?
No. All right, let me.
That's a good point.
No.
I'm
going to respond. I'm going to respond to that, Keith. First off, whether you agree with it or not, this one guy has been considered the top pound for pound fighter in the world on many.
Is a made up.
I got you. But I'm almost finished. He's been considered that on many lists. But is it not true that Al Haymon fighters do not have promotional deals or network deals like Terence Crawford? He has a network deal with ESPN and Top Rank, so he can't move. But you guys you guys can fight on other networks easier because you have one fight deals with networks. You don't have long-term deals with promoters and network. Is that a fact?
Okay, so a lot of us are more flexible than Terence Crawford. Okay, and like I just said, you want us to focus on one guy. It's not my fault that I can fight Sean, Danny, Pacquiao, and Errol Spence, and if I freaking feel like it, there's Mikey Garcia and Adrian Broner. There's Ugas. There's so
right.
Just to go get one check.
But it's not about a check. It's about
WBO,
legacy.
Which, if you really know boxing, a lot of people call it the WB no.
No, it's
you want to talk about the WBO. It's the WB no.
All right. What about
nobody wants it?
Guys, thoughts on Keith Thurman's statements about Terence Crawford? I think there's some truth to what he's saying. Because, I mean, we've been on this show telling Terence Crawford that he could probably go over to Fox for one fight with Danny Garcia. And likewise, we've also said that you can, if you're PBC, you can send Danny Garcia or Sean Porter over to ESPN to make that fight or have a co-network fight. Like, this isn't impossible. Or the idea that we have to have one guy sent over is even not really the topic of conversation here. Like, we can have co-network fights here moving forward to a degree. But guys, thoughts on Keith Thurman's thoughts about Terence Crawford and the fact that it's just one guy over there and PBC has all these guys. Therefore, it's kind of, he's implying the onus is on Terence Crawford to come over to their side to make the fights, not the other way around, because they're all over there and he's over there.
I just think it's ironic that Keith Thurman seems to think he's more flexible than Terence Crawford right now. The in shape permanently, Terence Crawford over the 192 pound.
Not literally, not flexible. From
I know, but it was funny when I said it. Yeah, I don't know. The boutless Keith Thurman doesn't want the WB no. Apparently nobody wants it, but I don't know. It's Akabarak kind of made the point. Like, you guys aren't tied to network deals. You can go and make a big fight with Crawford, whereas Crawford is kind of network bound as such. So I don't know. I think Terence is in a rough position right now. He's either got to offer a lot of money, but this is similar to like the Charlo thing. This is similar to I think the Andy Ruiz situation with Dillian White, that the assets aren't going to other networks to help that other network make good fights.
And just to clarify your point, I agree with you. The important assets, like the key.
When I call them an asset, I deem the other ones not kind of like assets. If
there's a reason Brian Castano is going over to DAZN to fight Shera and not Jamal
Charlo for Andrade. Yeah. Because Charlo Andrade is a big fight. And if that fight happens, we don't want it on your network. We want people to watch it here. So that's how I see it. So no one big name, unless the money is unbelievable and, it's too good to turn down, none of those guys are going over to ESPN to fight Terence Crawford, in my opinion. And it's not that they're afraid. It's not that they're, ducking as such. It's just, Al Heyman's got a responsibility to his network. So
It's network wars. Like that's purely what it is. I think you put it very well, Rob. That these like the important assets will not be sent. There's a reason Terence Crawford it will not be sent over to Fox.
The only cases will be a Joshua fight or a Canelo fight. Where those guys are allowed to go, because if you're an advisor to a client, good luck explaining. No, you can't go over there for the $15 million payday. Why not? Well, we don't want them looking good on their end. Well, how about my bank balance looking good? Ow, advise me.
Gary, thoughts on Keith Thurman's statements about Terence Crawford?
It's so frustrating that it's like in college football, different teams play on different networks in different conferences, but they still schedule it because the money's too great not to, right? Like Texas scheduled to play LSU. Texas before that scheduled to play USC. We're talking about the biggest money makers in college football saying, hey, you know what? We can make a lot of money on our own, but if we put it all together, we can make even more. So Texas doesn't play in the same conference as USC, but let's try to make that game anyway. And then we'll play it next year. So we'll do a home and home, and whoever has the home that's the network it telecast on. Like, why is it so easy to do in college football? Well, look, USC can make millions playing whoever they want. But I can make even more if I play Texas. Let's play Texas. Right? Like, why can't this just happen? The Terence Crawford. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Well, I got an answer for you. It's the NCAA, right? That you have a overarching national body that is running college sports. You don't like the ABC is the closest we have to a national body in America that governs boxing. Let's be honest here. The ABC, the American Boxing Commissions, or the Association of Boxing Commissions, they are a joke in terms of the ABC having power, right? You know that, Gary. Like whenever they have a meeting with all the commission heads, nothing really gets resolved. If anything, we actually have splintering of rule sets between states when that happens. So Gary, I'm 100% with you in the idea that we can get to a point where that reality of college football, where different conferences, different moneymakers in terms of teams play each other because they will make more money doing that. That will happen in boxing, but it needs certain things to change. The status quo of the industry right now will always mean that this happens, that we don't get these fights. We don't get these money-making fights, these cross-promotional fights, these cross-network fights, because there's no incentive, there's no drive, there's no mechanism to force these things to happen. While in college football, there is. While in other sports like football or American football or basketball, there are centralized bodies that are given a monopoly of force to control the sport. And then they are government regulated. That's how it's run. Boxing is not that way. It's this haphazard system where all these fiefdoms of control with overlapping areas of control. We have state commissions. You have individual sanctioning bodies, individual promoters, networks, etc., all vying for jurisdiction and power and control of the industry. So there's no monopoly of force from any single body here to force the best fights. And that's why we will get a Keith Thurman saying, hey, we don't have to do this. We can sit here and make our fights and we're good. There's no one making us do this. And he's right. But you are right, Gary, that we can get to a point where we have a national body that forces this shit through. Or even more amazing, an international body which forces fights through. Wouldn't that be amazing? I ranted there for a second, Gary. Sorry, I hijacked your point. I apologize.
No, that was pretty good. I mean, that was where.
And it wasn't a second either.
Rob, do you have somewhere to go? Are you tired?
Yeah. I'm gonna jump off.
Did you talk about? Yeah. Good seeing you, Rob.
Oh, cheers, Gary. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, share the show, all that good stuff. Catch you later.